G'day folks, the current time is 5:51 AM and I'm excited because I'm going on a trout fishing session for the first time this season. Hey you! You're watching Robbie Fishing. Now I'm a little bit too early to see, so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to run through what I'm carrying in my fishing bag. Put some light on. Right, that is the shadow of my GoPros. I'm sorry if that annoys you. Right, this is my fishing bag. This is the rod and reel I'm taking. That's my Crucis Elite 4-piece rod that I carry on my motorbike with a Piscafun Viper 2 reel on it. Now my bag, what have I got? What am I taking with me? I've got my Jan Juck worms, and I reckon I can already hear it. It sounds like there's quite a lot of water coming down the creek, so I suspect I'm going to be using worms today. I've got a waterproof bag, and in that I've got a camera, a Canon G9X Mark II. It's just a little compact camera with a good sensor on it. It's quite a good little camera. That's my main fishing camera. I've got 3 packets of Strike Tiger leeches. These are the new products from Strike Tiger, the leeches. I've not used these before. I'm really looking forward to giving them a swim. I'm unsure whether I'll give them a swim today because of the amount of water coming down the stream, but we'll find out more when it gets a bit lighter. This is actually a Bunnings toolbox, but I use it as a fishing tackle box because it's cheaper than fishing tackle boxes. It's waterproof and it can carry quite a bit of stuff, and I'll open that up shortly. This is my my bag, my little battery. Trying to do it with one hand here, sorry. That's got my asthma puffer in it, obviously, but I never go anywhere without that. I've got my 2 spare GoPro batteries, and I've got a little 10,000 milliamp beam power pack, and I've got a 20,000 milliamp one in the car as well. I've got a USB-C charger there, and I've got a an Olight charger there to charge my Olights, which is what I'm using on my head now, my Olight Karen 2. I did have a white micro USB cable in there as well, but I left it open like that. And a dirty magpie come and knocked it off while I wasn't watching to build a nest. I have got one in the car though. I bought one with me today in case I needed to charge anything. And that's all. Last but not least, I've got my hooks and sinkers. If I open this, you'll see all that's in there. 2 different sizes of hooks and 2 different, I'm trying to get the shadow out. 2 different sizes of hooks and 2 different sizes of split shots. Split shot sinkers. They're the smaller, the biggest of the hooks, and they're the smallest. Probably not really easy to see. Now in here, I have my jig heads. I've got the new Strike Tiger leech bite attractant or lure scent, whatever you want to call it. I've got a trout. Oh, have I? I had a trout oil one in there. I must have taken it out last season. I forgot to put it back. I've got a few hooks. And just heaps of lures, different array of lures. I've got lots of jig heads. I've got the red eye jig heads, the gold and the red coloured Strike Tiger jig heads. I've got some Damiki blades, some wild bait minnows, some Pontoon 21 minnows. Just all my trout lures pretty much. Some spinners, there's some bladed spinners in there. That's what's in my bag. That's what I'm taking with me today on my adventure. Now I put it all back together and it's almost light enough to start slowly making my way down the creek. I can see the creek down there. It looks beautiful. There's a lot of water in it. It's quite high, but looks very healthy. Righto folks, I'm here. I've made my way down to the creek. The water's actually quite a bit clearer than I thought. There's just a lot of it. I've got my single worm, my single Jan Juck worm, and I've already got it wrapped around my line and tangled. Off to a great start. I'll untangle that and I'll make my way upstream, just drifting that worm through these pools. That's a bite, that's my first bite. Got him! This is my first brownie for the season, I think. I don't think there's any rainbows in this creek, so it's got to be, doesn't it? There we go, folks. First brown trout for the season. Lip hooked, ready for release. You little beauty! See you later, mate. Wonder if I can pull another one out of the same hole. You never know. This creek's quite top heavy. What that means is, got him. What that means is there's a lot of trout in here, but not a lot of size. There's numbers, there's quantity, but not necessarily a lot of quality. And that's one of the bigger trout that I'll catch in this creek. He's a lovely fish. He's quite a bit bigger than the last one. Definitely a lot fatter. I've only fished probably 3 or 4 holes and done no good, and I've caught my first 2 in the same hole. And on the same worm. Lovely brown trout. See you later, mate. Got them both in the same hole. Now what I was just saying before I caught that fish was that some creeks have quality, some have quantity, and some are well balanced. The Kiwa River's a very well balanced river, but this is it's a bit top heavy, meaning there's a lot of fish but not a lot of size, because when you've got so many mouths, they've got to share the food source that's available. The more food you've got, the more fish the creek can hold. So there's a lot of fish in this creek, and that's why I chose to come here, because it's the start of the season and I just wanted to get a score on the board, and I've got 2 before the sun comes up. Couldn't be happier. Now I'm going to change my worm. Somebody asked me the other day in a comment on one of my, I think it was my Macquarie perch fishing video, how often do you change the worm? I think I answered something like every 23 minutes and 16 seconds or something ridiculous. That worm looks pretty dead. He's been eaten by 2 different trout. It'll still work if I'm running low on worms, there's no doubt about it, but why I've got a good supply of worms in my bag, I'm going to take that off and put a fresh one on, because fresh is best. I caught 2 on the one worm, and as I said, in a pinch, like the day when I was fishing and I only took 3 worms, I could, I'll definitely put that back in like that, but while I've got fresh ones, I'm better off to use a fresh one. Had I not caught those 2 fish, well, the original worm would still be just fine. Here's a nice big open pool. Spots like this where the water slows down can be wonderful spots to catch trout. As the water slows down, the bait slows down with it, and the trout can just sit there and ambush it. He's a bite. And when you've had a lot of rain like we have, that bait that washes down is usually going to be worms. He's got that. Got him. There's a bigger fish again. The 3rd one and the biggest one. He's actually a very nice trout for this little creek. We've had a very wet winter and the start of spring, so I'm guessing that he's a lovely trout for this creek. I've got a photo of him next to me fishing rod, I think. Here's a beautiful trout for this little creek. It's about as big as they get in here. See you later, mate. You beauty. I've got 3 on the board and the size is going up, up and up. Oh yeah, the fish are getting bigger. Hopefully the next one's even bigger again. Right, now the worm's a bit mangled, but because I caught that fish sort of down the bottom half of the hole, there is still a chance that there could be a second fish up further that hasn't been disturbed. So I'll try the same worm and to see how that goes. Then you do the walk. You do the walk of life. Yeah, you do the walk of life. It's biting. I think he dropped it. Oh, he's got it, he's biting it again. I think he's there. Got him. Oh, I lost him. Worm's still there. Didn't feel much weight. I just felt a little bit of resistance, so with a bit of luck, that fish might come back. Although I stuffed the cast up a bit. He was more out towards the middle. There we go. No, that was a nibble. That was a definite nibble. There's a bite. Something's following it. Something wants it. Got him. Oh yes. I haven't gone bigger again, have I? Nah, same size as the last one. Maybe not quite the size of the last one. Come on, mate. Come on, buddy. Oh, then again, gee whiz, they're nice trout for this stream. That is a beautiful trout for this creek. I reckon the wet winter or wet start to spring, you've got that a bit deep, so I'll cut the line off and tie a new hook on. I reckon the wet winter and the wet start to spring has seen some pretty good growth rates of trout in the streams. That is a wonderful thing. See you later, mate. Off you go. I didn't get a photo, otherwise I just have 68 million photos to share with you all. The sun hasn't come up yet and I've already caught 4 trout. What a wonderful start. Possibly the best start to the season that I've had for a very long time, as long as I can remember. So I've used 2 worms and I've used 2 worms for 4 trout. I've caught 4 trout on 2 worms. Can't complain about that. That's very efficient. Now I make my way to the next pool. There's a real nice hole, just a stone's throw up there. Speaking of a stone's throw, for some reason, everybody that lives within a stone's throw of me is walking around with a bruise on their head. I must be a good shot. Not filming. Oh yeah. There's a bite. Got him. I wasn't sure if I was filming, so I took the camera off my head to see if I was filming, and while I was doing that, a fish grabbed my line. Fish grabbed my worm. Come on, buddy. Come on, buddy. Unhook you there. There you go, folks. Another brown trout, a lovely little fish. Bit lean, not as fat as the last couple. They are on fire today. See you later, mate. Is that 5, I think, now? Having a blast. They are running red hot. Now the next minute or so might be boring to people that know a bit about trout fishing, but I just want to throw in a couple of tips for those that are new to trout fishing or inexperienced. Mario, I hope you're watching. You'll notice I'm walking upstream. The reason is the trout often sit in the streams facing upstream, waiting for the food to wash down towards them. Just about every trout you see will be facing upstream. So by walking upstream, I'm sneaking up behind them. But don't get too close, because unlike me, they don't have eyes at the front of their head that look forward. They have eyes at the top that look up. So they can see a little bit backwards. And unfortunately for me, I'm a little bit backwards. So that means that they can see me. So always walk upstream. In really big rivers, not many of them that big in Australia, but the really big ones like in New Zealand and North America, that's okay to fish downstream. In fact, walking down, as you stir the rubble up at the bottom of the river with your feet, it will dislodge nymphs and bugs, and they will wash downstream ahead of you, and then you can catch the trout because they start feeding on those bugs. But they're bigger, much bigger and much more forgiving. In creeks this size, if you walk downstream, all your dirty water is going to wash downstream ahead of you, and the fish will either get spooked by the dirty water or they'll get spooked by you. Now, the other tip I want to mention, fly fishermen call this matching the hatch. You want to use what's there. I've caught 5 trout in about the last half an hour. Why is the fishing so good? Because I'm using a bait that's there. I'm using a bunch of worms. There's worms in the system. Look at all the mud. Look at all the water. The ground is saturated. Every gully I crossed was wet. The worms will be washed. They'll be coming to the surface and getting washed in the system, and the trout are feeding on worms. They're not going to be feeding on cicadas because there's none here. They'll be here at Christmas time. They'll turn up at Christmas. They'll be deafening in the trees. The creek will be low and warm. There'll be no worms getting washed in. That's when you don't want to use worms. That's when you'll want to use cicadas, or another couple of months there'll be grasshoppers all along the bank here. The fish will be feeding on the grasshoppers and they'll go off the worms unless we get a rain event. So you want to match the hatch, and at the moment with the water being high and off colour, and although this might seem clear, it's still quite dirty for this creek, worms are the best, and that's why it's fishing so well. If I come back up here in November on a 35-degree day with cicadas in the trees and grasshoppers jumping around, I'll be you're probably using lures, or I'll be using a grasshopper. And one other thing, there are food items that are there all the time, small yabbies and minnows and stuff. So if you're ever not sure on what bait to use, try something like a little minnow, like a little Rapala or a wild bait or a pontoon 21, or a soft plastic like a striped tiger nymph. Those food sources are there all year round. So match the hatch, and if you can't get a fish on bait, try a lure like a minnow or a soft plastic. Another tip for people who are new to trout fishing, This is something I say a lot on my channel. When you get to a nice big open bit of water like this, don't just go up as far as you can. Fish it from the back. I'm snagged, but I'm only snagged there. So when I go to unsnag it, I'm not spooking the entire pool. And if I catch a fish here, I spook this part of the pool, but not the entire pool. If I just go the big long bloody hero cast up the end and hook a fish way up there, I spook everything, and that reduces my chances of catching more than one fish in the hole. That's a bit off the current there, but it could be a fish out in the quiet water having a rest. There's a bite. Right at the back, he's got it. Where is he? He's way down here. You see that he took the worm there. By the time I reeled in the slack, he was way down here. He must have felt the weight of the split shot or something, and then thought, what's going on, and got the hell out of there. He took that right there, and then my line swam down there with no resistance. He's back, is he? Yep. Oh, I saw him. He's a nice fish. He's a real nice fish. He's a real nice trout. Let's see if he comes back again. Third time lucky maybe? Or is he a bit too switched on now maybe? He's there. I saw him. There's a tap. He's biting it. I can see him. Got him. That was exciting. I could see him there. Mate, you can't fool this old rooster. Hey? Another lovely brown. Another beautiful brown trout. They're nice fish. I know a lot of you are saying they're not big fish, but believe me, for this little creek, they're rippers. They're in very good shape. Now, by catching that fish just at the back of the hole here, I've still got all that glorious water up there to look forward to. Righto. Can I get another fish? All the action was in the back of the hole. That was a bit too left. I wanted it a bit more right. That doesn't mean a fish isn't going to see that. But I was just trying to go down the edge of the current, but the wind picked it up. It's not a breath of wind. Right, now I'll try again, this time a bit closer to the edge of the current. That's better. Well, that's where I wanted it. Look at that. I've got 6 trout before sunrise on my first morning of the season. He's a bite. Got him. Make that 7. Oh yeah, the trout are on fire. Love this time of year. Come on, mate. I struck early on that one because I've noticed if you give them too long, it ends up in their gut. If you strike quick, it ends up in their mouth, just like that. I'll get a quick pick. Alright, mate, let me unhook you. Now, he's a nice length. He's a little bit on the lean side, but he's reasonably healthy. He's quite a nice trout. One thing that can happen in these small streams when you get a wet year is that there'll be a lot of worms washing in, and they'll feed and feed and feed all winter, and they'll grow really big. But then after winter, there's not enough food source to sustain them, and then in the spring and the summer, when the worms have gone, you start finding longer, lean fish in some of these small streams. Anyway, 7 on the board before sunrise. I'm starting to suffer from a little bit of gumboot anxiety just here at the moment. Oh, tiny weeny bit got in. Oh, got a bite. Got him. Oh, lost him. Nearly got 3 in the one hole. Oh, the one that got away. No one would ever believe me if I told him. I don't think he'll come back. I felt a fair bit of weight. He had it in his mouth. He jumped out of the water. He gone. Damn it, I've got a wet right foot. Only a little bit wet. One of the good things with gumboots is that my body heat, if I don't get more fresh water in there, my body heat will warm that water up and it'll be not too bad. Cold for now, but more bearable shortly. Bite then. Let's have a nibble on my worms again. Got him, he did come back. 3 in the one pool. So what's this, number 8 before sunrise? Come on, mister. Ah. There we go, folks. Another glorious mountain trout. Beautiful brown trout up in the hills. See you later, mate. I'm having so much fun. This is awesome. My God, my heart is pounding. I heard a duck, I heard a quack, quack, and I didn't really think much of it. And all of a sudden, flap, I kid you not, it was there. It was like 3 feet from my head. It mustn't have seen me. And when I ducked, it changed directory and took off that way, changed direction and took off that way. My God, stupid duck, I got to bite it. Got him, oh, I lost him. That duck frightened the crap out of me. If that duck hadn't scared me, I would have caught that fish. It's thrown me off. But here he is, he's back. No, that's a rock. But there was a fish there the first time round. Still there. Oh, bugger. I struck and nearly pulled the hook into my face. Ooh, it took me worm. There's a bite. He's back. Got him. He came back. He came back. Number 9. Number 9. Number 9. Number 9. See you later, mate. He's gone. I'm still going to count that one. Because let's face it, if I hadn't already caught 8 before sunrise, I probably would have been a bit more cautious landing him. You get a bit blasé after you catch so many. Number 9. Number 9. Number 9. That was a Beatles song. That's a bite. If he's bit it once, he'll bite it again. There he is. Got him. Oh yeah, he's going for it. Look at him go. He might be a bigger fish again. And he might just have a bit of room to swim. Number 10. Number 10. He's a lovely trout. Number 10. Number 10, you beauty. 10 trout and I'm still on the first GoPro battery. Ugh. Mate, calm your farm, will you? Look at that. What an absolute ripper. Rightio, number 10. See you later, mate. Woohoo! So far this morning, oh, water on my face. I think he splashed me. So far this morning I've caught 10 trout. And it's only just like the sun's trying to come up now. 10 trout before sunrise. Can't complain about that. I've still got 20% battery on my GoPro. 10 trout on my first GoPro battery. I'm pretty sure that's a record. Remember when I went through all my stuff this morning and I said in there's a really good camera? It's still in there. Every single fish that I've caught I've photographed with my phone. Idiot. There's the sun just starting to hit the trees down there. Beautiful. There's a nibble. There's a nibble. Got him. Oh, look at the size of him. Well, folks, that's the smallest one today. Come on, mate. Come on, mate. Come on, come on, come on. That is the smallest one today. A lovely little brown, lip hooked. Lovely little brown trout. See you later, mate. I just finished saying, there he goes. I just finished saying they're just starting to get a bit of sun coming out on the trees here. The number 11 came along. Good bite. He's got it, he's got it, he's got it. I can see him. Got him. Number 12. Come on, mate. Come on. Don't fall off, but if you do, that's okay too. Another lovely brownie. You little ripper. Lovely brownie. See you later, mate. Right, now it's time for a change of scenery. We know the worms are working well, but I've caught a dozen, so I can't complain about that. This is the new Strike Tiger leech. I've got it rigged up with the red-eye jig head, the black red-eye jig head. I don't think that's the perfect jig head for her. I think the little 132 of an ounce size 4 would probably be better. But because the water's high, I wanted a little bit of extra weight. And because it's off colour, I just wanted that red eye to sort of flash and that black jig head just to give it a bit of silhouette in the murky water. The Strike Tiger leech, how does it look in the water? Let's give it a crack. I've only got probably 100 metres of water left to fish before I'm back at the car. Let's see if I can tempt the trout with the new leech. My first cast with the leech. I've gone a copper berry colour, the one with the UV in it. I'm just doing everything I can to help it stand out, or try and help it stand out in the murky water. Oh, got him! I saw him come and grab it. I was looking straight at you. Where's my anti-reverse before he breaks me line? I was looking at my anti-reverse. I was looking at the lure to see what sort of action the new leech had, and just as I was about to lift it out, this trout said, I like leeches. I want that. I can't get down there because that's going to be over my gumboots. Well, mate, I'm just going to have to lift you up. Well, the leech works. Took me like 2 casts. Lovely brown trout, the first trout on the new Strike Tiger leech. That was so cool. I just happened to be looking at it. I was looking at it to see what it looked like in the water. It's like a little stick bait. It comes through like that, and I was just watching it to see how it looked. Then from out of nowhere, bang! He grabbed it just as I was lifting it out. I love exciting fishing. That's what I call exciting fishing. Whether it's a cod hitting a surface lure at your foot, or a trout grabbing your lure as you lift it out of the water, that's exciting. That looks cool in the water. And trout think so too. I really want to fish up there, but it's only 5 or 6 degrees. I don't want to get my feet wet. I might have a cast from here. It could be a bit ambitious. It's in the water, that's a start. Problem is, if I don't catch a fish, I'm going to have to... Oh, one hit it! If I don't catch a fish, I'm going to have to heave it right across to prevent it getting snagged on the grass. Definitely had a strike. I saw the fish too. Didn't feel too much weight. He might come back. No, he didn't come back. He's following it. Oh, I got him! I got him! I got him! Get over there! I got him! I got him! Look! I got him all the way across the grass. He is a leech muncher. Now that was a bit of ambitious fishing. How good was that? I hooked him, I got him all the way over all that grass, and I still managed to land him on the leech. See you later, mate. Well, that's 2 on the leech, and hasn't lost its tail yet. That's awesome. Now I'd like to give a big shout out to everybody that's still locked down, especially the people of Melbourne and Sydney. You guys have had a lot of lockdowns. I'm a Victorian, I know all about lockdowns. I've had 7 of them, ranging from 4 days to about 6 weeks. They suck, and I'm sorry that I can go fishing while you can't, but hopefully as the weather warms up, this bug dies off a little bit, and hopefully we can all get out and enjoy these amazing places. And I just hope that I can put a bit of a smile on your face in these hard times with my sometimes slightly crazy antics, like catching fish over there and dragging them across the grass. Anyway folks, thanks very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, give it a big fat thumbs up and hit the subscribe button, and hopefully I'll see you in my next video.